Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Master Channel. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Asadullah. Today, we're talking about something that so many of you have told us about, and it's really frustrating.
You understand English quite well. You watch movies, you listen to podcasts, you read articles. But when it's your turn to speak, your mind goes blank.
Yes, that feeling when the words are somewhere in your brain, but they just won't come out. Your mouth feels frozen. It's like your tongue decided to take a holiday without telling you.
Exactly. And this is incredibly common. You are not alone. In fact, most intermediate learners struggle with this gap between understanding and speaking.
So today, we're giving you 9 practical tips, not theory, not just practice more, but real specific strategies to stop freezing and start speaking.
We'll explain why this happens and then give you step-by-step actions you can take today.
This is a longer episode, so feel free to pause, take notes, and practice along with us.
If you find this helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments, what's the hardest part of speaking for you?
All right, let's first understand the problem.
Let's start with a simple truth. Understanding and speaking are 2 different skills. They use different pathways in your brain.
Think of it like this. When you listen or read, you are receiving language. Your brain recognizes words and patterns. This is passive knowledge.
But when you speak, you are producing language. You have to find the words, put them in the right order, add correct grammar, and pronounce them, all in real time. That's active.
And your passive vocabulary, the words you understand, is always much larger than your active vocabulary, the words you actually use, for everyone, in every language.
That's why you can understand a word like meticulous, but never say it yourself. It's normal.
So the problem is not that you're bad at English. The problem is that your active speaking muscles haven't been trained enough.
Another reason is fear. Fear of making mistakes, fear of being judged, fear of sounding silly. And when you're afraid, your brain goes into protection mode. It freezes. That's not a language problem, that's a confidence problem. And we can fix that.
Also, many learners try to translate from their native language into English in their heads. That takes too long. By the time you finish translating, the conversation has moved on.
So the goal is to think in English and speak directly. But how? That's what our 9 tips will show you. Ready? Let's go. Tip number 1. Accept the gap. It is completely normal to understand more than you can say.
In fact, linguists estimate that your passive vocabulary is about 2 to 3 times larger than your active vocabulary. Even native speakers have this gap, just smaller.
So the first step is to stop being angry at yourself. You're not broken. You're not lazy. You're just in the middle of the learning journey.
When you accept this, the pressure drops. And when pressure drops, speaking becomes easier.
Let me give you an example. Imagine a baby. They understand no. Come here. Where's your bottle? Long before they can say those words. That's natural.
Or think about learning to drive. You understand how the pedals work, you know the rules, but the first time you actually drive, your hands are clumsy. That's the speaking gap.
So tip 1, be kind to yourself. Say out loud, it's normal to understand more than I speak.
Now repeat after me. It's normal to understand more than I speak.
Great! You just did your first speaking practice.
Tip number 2, speak to yourself. The biggest fear in speaking is other people, so remove them.
Yes, talk to yourself in English when you're alone. In the shower, while cooking, walking, driving, doing laundry.
This is called private speech. It's a real technique used by language learners and even actors to build fluency without judgment.
What do you say? Narrate your day. Now I'm opening the fridge. I see eggs, milk, and some old bread. That bread looks suspicious. It doesn't have to be interesting. It just has to be English.
Another method, describe what you see. There's a tall building. The sky is cloudy. A man is walking a small dog.
You can also have imaginary conversations. If someone asked me about my weekend, I would say, I stayed home and watched a movie.
The magic is no fear, no penalty, no audience. Just you and your voice. Do this for 5 minutes a day. You'll feel your mouth getting used to English sounds.
Your turn. Right now, describe what you see around you. Say it quietly or in your head. Ready? Go.
See? You're already speaking.
Tip number 3. Shadowing. This is one of the most powerful techniques for bridging the gap.
Shadowing means listening to a short audio clip, 10 to 30 seconds, and repeating it immediately after, or at the same time, trying to copy exactly the pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation.
It works because you're not creating language from nothing. You're copying a perfect model. That trains your mouth and your ear together. Here's how to do it. Choose a podcast, a movie scene, or a YouTube video with clear speech. Listen to one sentence. Pause. Repeat it out loud. Better yet, use an app or tool that lets you slow down the audio. Start slow, then build up to normal speed.
Let's try a simple one together. Repeat after me.
I woke up early today.
I made myself a cup of tea.
Then I checked my messages.
Notice how your voice rises and falls? Copy that. Don't just say the words, say the music of English.
Do this for 5 minutes every day. After a week, you'll feel your mouth moving more naturally.
And the best part? You don't need a partner. Just you and your phone.
Tip number 4. Use sentence starters. One reason people freeze is because they don't know how to begin.
Sentence starters are simple openings that give you a structure. You just fill in the rest. They reduce the thinking time.
For example, in my opinion, I think that. What I mean is, one thing I've noticed is.
Let's practice. I'll give you a starter and you finish it out loud. Ready?
In my opinion, the best way to learn English is.
I think that speaking English is sometimes difficult because.
What I mean is, when I freeze, I feel.
See how easy that was? You didn't have to invent the first words. The starter did that for you.
You can create a list of 10 to 20 sentence starters and practice them until they become automatic. Keep them in your phone notes.
Over time, your brain will reach for these starters without thinking. That's fluency.
Tip number 5. Slow down. Many learners rush because they think fast speaking equals good English. That's not true.
Fluency is smoothness, not speed. A slow, clear, well-pronounced sentence is much better than a fast, jumbled mess.
When you slow down, you give your brain time to find the next word. You also reduce the freeze response.
Try this. Take a sentence and say it at half speed. For example, I am going to the store. Then speed up a little. You'll notice your brain feels more in control.
Native speakers also pause. Listen to any TED Talk or podcast. They pause, they say they take breaths. That's normal.
So your rule, better slow and clear than fast and confusing.
Let's practice. Say this sentence slowly with me. I don't know the answer right now, but I can find out.
Good. Now say it again, a tiny bit faster. Still clear. That's the sweet spot.
Tip number 6. Replace unknown words. The number one reason people freeze is they don't know one word, and they stop completely.
But in real conversation, you don't need the perfect word. You just need to be understood.
So if you forget the word refrigerator, what do you say? The cold box where we keep food. Or the thing in the kitchen that keeps milk fresh.
If you forget mechanic, say the person who fixes cars. If you forget stairs, say the steps you walk up to go to the next floor.
This is called circumlocution, a fancy word for talking around the word, and it's a skill that advanced speakers use all the time.
Let's practice. I'll give you a word. Don't say the word. Describe it. Ready?
The thing you use to cut paper. Answer, scissors.
The place where you borrow books. Answer, library.
The person who flies an airplane. Answer, pilot.
See? You just spoke without knowing the word at first. That's a superpower.
So next time you freeze on a word, take a breath and describe it. Your partner will understand, and you keep speaking.
Tip number 7. Record yourself. Most people hate hearing their own voice. I know, it's weird, but it's incredibly effective.
When you record yourself speaking, you notice things you don't notice in the moment. You hear your pauses, your mistakes, your pronunciation.
And then you can fix them without anyone else listening.
Here's a simple routine. Every day, record a 1-minute voice note about anything. Your day, your feelings, a movie you watched.
Then listen back. Ask yourself, did I pause too much? Did I use the right tense? Was I clear?
Then record again, trying to improve one thing. This is deliberate practice, and it works.
Let's do a quick example. I'll record a sentence in my mind. Sarah, what's one thing I could improve?
Let me pretend I heard you say, yesterday I go to the park. The mistake is go instead of went. So you'd say it again. Yesterday I went to the park.
Exactly. You don't need a teacher. You can be your own coach.
And here's the bonus. When you get used to hearing your own voice, you become less afraid of speaking in front of others.
Try it tonight. Record 30 seconds. Listen. Smile at your mistakes. Then try again.
Tip number 8. Build a phrase bank. Learning individual words is like having bricks without mortar. You need whole phrases.
When you learn a new word, learn it inside a chunk, a group of words that naturally go together.
For example, don't just learn decision. Learn make a decision. Don't just learn mistake. Learn make a mistake. Or learn from a mistake.
Here's why. When you speak, your brain doesn't build sentences word by word. It pulls whole chunks from memory. So if you have lots of chunks, you speak faster. Let me give you useful chunks for common situations. Giving an opinion. If you ask me, the way I see it, from my perspective, agreeing. That's a good point. I couldn't agree more. You're absolutely right. Disagreeing politely. I see what you mean, but I'm not so sure about that. That's one way to look at it. However, your homework. Take a piece of paper and write down 10 chunks you want to use this week. Practice saying them out loud until they feel automatic.
Let's practice one together. Repeat after me.
If you ask me, learning English takes time.
The way I see it, mistakes are part of the process.
I couldn't agree more.
See how natural that sounds? Those chunks are now in your phrase bank.
Tip number 9, and final. Create a low-pressure speaking environment. If every speaking situation feels like a test, you'll freeze.
So, lower the stakes. Find places where you can speak without being judged.
For example, use AI voice mode with ChatGPT. It never laughs at you. Actually, it might, but only if you tell it to. Join online communities for learners, like our English Master Discord or Telegram group. Speak with a friend who's also learning. You can make mistakes together. Practice alone with shadowing and recording, as we said.
The more safe, low-pressure speaking you do, the more confidence you build. And confidence is the opposite of freezing.
Also, reframe mistakes. Instead of thinking, I'm so bad, think, I just learned one more way not to say it. That's the Thomas Edison mindset.
And remember, every fluent speaker was once a frozen speaker. They just kept going.
So your challenge for today, choose one of these 9 tips and do it for 5 minutes. Just one. You'll see.
Let's quickly recap the 9 tips. 1. Accept the gap. It's normal. 2. Speak to yourself. No audience. 3. Shadow a native speaker. 4. Use sentence starters. 5. Slow down. Speed isn't fluency. 6. Describe unknown words. Don't stop. 7. Record yourself. Be your own coach. 8. Build a phrase bank. Learn chunks. 9. Create low-pressure speaking environments.
Now, let's do a quick interactive practice. I'll give you a situation. You try to respond out loud using one of these tips. Situation 1. You're at a coffee shop and you forget the word straw. What do you say? Answer. The plastic tube you drink through. Situation 2. You need to start an opinion, but you freeze. Use a sentence starter. Answer. In my opinion. Situation 3. You're alone in the kitchen. What can you say to yourself? Answer. Now I'm washing the dishes. The water is warm. If you did those, you just spoke English 3 times. Give yourself credit.
Before we end, let's review some key words from today. Repeat after me for each one. First, passive vocabulary. Words you understand but don't use. Example, my passive vocabulary is large, but my active vocabulary needs work. Repeat, passive vocabulary. Second, active vocabulary. Words you can actually use when speaking or writing. Example, shadowing helps move words from passive to active vocabulary. Repeat, active vocabulary. Third, shadowing. Repeating a native speaker immediately after them. Example, I do shadowing every morning for 5 minutes. Repeat, shadowing. Fourth, circumlocution. Describing a word when you don't know it. Example, circumlocution kept me speaking when I forgot the word. Repeat, circumlocution. Fifth, phrase bank. A collection of ready-to-use sentence chunks. Example, I built a phrase bank of 20 common expressions. Repeat, phrase bank. Great job! You just learned 5 advanced terms and practiced speaking them.
So there you have it. 9 practical tips to stop freezing and start speaking English.
Remember, understanding English is a huge achievement. Millions of people can't even do that. You're already far ahead.
Now you just need to bridge the gap, not with pressure, but with small, daily, kind practice.
Your mission for this week? Choose one tip, just one, and do it for 5 minutes every day. That's all.
And then come back to the comments and tell us which tip helped you the most. We read every comment.
If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend who also freezes when speaking, and subscribe to English Master Channel.
thank you for spending with us.
That's commitment.
You're already winning.
Keep speaking, keep freezing less, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye for now.